Section 19 of English Synonyms and Antonyms. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Mario Pineda. English Synonyms and Antonyms by James Champlin Fernald. Conquer to criminal. Conquer. Synonyms: beat, checkmate, crush, defeat, discomfit, down, humble, master, overcome, overmaster, overmatch, overpower, overthrow, prevail over, put down, reduce, rout, subdue, subject, subjugate, surmount, vanquish, win, worst. To defeat an enemy is to gain an advantage for the time. To vanquish is to win a signal victory. To conquer is to overcome so effectually that the victory is regarded as final. Conquer, in many cases, carries the idea of possession, as to conquer respect, affection, peace, etc. A country is conquered when its armies are defeated and its territory is occupied by the enemy. It may be subjected to indemnity or to various disabilities. It is subjugated when it is held helplessly and continuously under military control. It is subdued when all resistance has died out. An army is defeated when forcibly driven back. It is routed when it is converted into a mob of fugitives. Compare beat. Antonyms: capitulate, cede, fail, fall, fly, forfeit, lose, resign, retire, retreat, submit, succumb, surrender, yield. Conscious. Synonyms: advised, apprised, assured, aware, certain, certified, cognizant, informed, sensible, sure. One is aware of that which exists without him. He is conscious of the inner workings of his own mind. Sensible may be used in the exact sense of conscious, or it may partake of both the senses mentioned above. One may be sensible of his own or another's error. He is conscious only of his own. A person may feel assured or sure of something false or non-existent. What he is aware of, still more what he is conscious of, must be fact. Sensible has often a reference to the emotions, where conscious may apply only to the intellect. To say a culprit is sensible of his degradation is more forcible than to say he is conscious of it. Antonyms: cold, dead, deaf, ignorant, insensible, unaware, unconscious. Preposition: on the stormy sea, man is conscious of the limitation of human power. Consequence. Synonyms: consequent, effect, end, event, issue, outcome, outgrowth, result, sequel, upshot. Effect is the strongest of these words. It is that which is directly pronounced by the action of an efficient cause. We say every effect must have an adequate cause. Compare cause. In regard to human actions, effect commonly relates to intention, as the shot took effect, that is, the effect intended. A consequence is that which follows an act naturally, but less directly than the effect. The motion of the piston is the effect, and the agitation of the water under the paddle wheels a consequence of the expansion of steam in the cylinder. The result is literally the rebound of an act, depending on many elements. The issue is that which flows forth directly. We say the issue of a battle, the result of a campaign. A consequent commonly is that which follows simply in order of time, or by logical inference. The end is the actual outcome without determination of the relation to what has gone before. It is ordinarily viewed as either the necessary, natural, or logical outcome, any effect, consequence, or result being termed an end, as the end of such a course must be ruin. The event, Latin e, out, and venue, come, is primarily exactly the same in meaning as outcome, but in use it is more nearly equivalent to upshot, signifying the sum and the substance of all effects, consequences, and results of a course of action. Compare accident, cause, circumstance, end, event. Console. Synonyms: comfort, condole with, encourage, sympathize with. One condoles with another by the expression of kindly sympathy in his trouble. He consoles him by considerations adapted to soothe and sustain the spirit, as by the assurances and promises of the gospel. He encourages him by the hope of some relief or deliverance. He comforts him by whatever act or word tends to bring mind or body to a state of rest and cheer. We sympathize with others, not only in sorrow, but in joy. Compare alleviate, pity. Antonyms: annoy, distress, disturb, grieve, hurt, sadden, trouble, wound. Contagion. Synonym: infection. Infection is frequently confused with contagion, even by medical men. The best usage now limits contagion to diseases that are transmitted by contact with the diseased person, either directly by touch or indirectly by use of the same articles, by breath, effluvia, etc. Infection is applied to diseases produced by no known or definable influence of one person upon another, but where common climatic, malarious, or other widespread conditions are believed to be chiefly instrumental. Continual. Synonyms: ceaseless, constant, continuous, incessant, invariable, perpetual, regular, unbroken, unceasing, uninterrupted, unremitting, unvarying. Continuous describes that which is absolutely without pause or break. Continual, that which often intermits but as regularly begins again. A continuous beach is exposed to the continual beating of the waves. A similar distinction is made between incessant and ceaseless. The incessant discharge of firearms makes the ceaseless roar of battle. Constant is sometimes used in the sense of continual, but its chief uses are mental and moral. Contract. Synonyms: agreement, arrangement, bargain, cartel, compact, covenant, engagement, obligation, pact, pledge, promise, stipulation. All these words involve at least two parties, though an engagement or promise may be the act of but one. A contract is a formal agreement between two or more parties for the doing or leaving undone some specified act or acts, and is ordinarily in writing. Mutual promises may have the force of a contract. A consideration or compensation is essential to convert an agreement into a contract. A contract may be oral or written. A covenant in law is a written contract under seal. Covenant is frequent in religious usage, as contract is in law and business. Compact is essentially the same as contract, but it is applied to international agreements, treaties, etc. A bargain is a mutual agreement for an exchange of values without the formality of a contract. A stipulation is a single item in an agreement or contract. A cartel is a military agreement for the exchange of prisoners or the like. Contrast. Synonyms: compare, differentiate, discriminate, oppose. To compare, Latin con, together, and par, equal, is to place together in order to show likeness or unlikeness. To contrast, Latin contra, against, and sto, stand, is to set in opposition in order to show unlikeness. We contrast objects that have been already compared. We must compare them, at least momentarily, even to know that they are different. We contrast them when we observe their unlikeness in a general way. We differentiate them when we know the difference exactly and point by point. We distinguish objects when we know the difference that may fall short of contrast. We discriminate them when we classify or place them according to their differences. Preposition: we contrast one object with another. Conversation. Synonyms: chat, colloquy, communication, communion, confabulation, conference, converse, dialogue, discourse, intercourse, parley, talk. Conversation. Latin con, with, is etymologically an interchange of ideas with some other person or persons. Talk may be wholly one-sided. Many brilliant talkers have been incapable of conversation. There may be intercourse without conversation, as by looks, signs, etc. Communion is of hearts, with or without words. Communication is often by writing, and may be uninvited and unreciprocated. Talk may denote the mere utterance of words with little thought. Those who say idle talk, empty talk, rather than idle or empty conversation. Discourse is now applied chiefly to public addresses. A conference is more formal than a conversation. Dialogue denotes ordinarily an artificial or imaginary conversation, generally of two persons, but sometimes of more. A colloquy is indefinite as to number and generally somewhat informal. Compare behavior. Prepositions: conversation with friends, between or among the guests, about a matter. Convert. Synonyms: disciple, neophyte, proselyte. The name disciple is given to the follower of a certain faith without reference to any previous belief or allegiance. A convert is a person who has to come to one faith from a different belief or from unbelief. A proselyte is one who has been led to accept a religious system, whether with or without true faith. A convert is always understood to be a believer. A neophyte is a new convert, not yet fully indoctrinated or not admitted to full privileges. The antonyms apostate, pervert, and renegade are condemnatory names applied to the convert by those whose faith he forsakes. Convey. Synonyms: carry, change, give, move, remove, sell, shift, transfer, transmit, transport. Convey, transmit, and transport all imply delivery at a destination, as I will convey the information to your friend, Air conveys sound to a